this situation at work a while ago. It's been resolved now, but I was being harassed by someone, and I felt afraid to file the reports I needed to file. And this person's harassment was getting worse and worse. And so I spoke up, and for a few weeks, maybe a month, it felt like a really long time. It felt like nothing was happening, and I felt alone. I felt unheard. But in the long run, it was important to speak up in that situation, because it comes out later that there were so many other people that he was harassing. And I don't think I was the first person to speak up about it, but speaking up about it helped to resolve things. And that's just one serious case of you need to speak up, even though it can be scary and you can feel alone at times, or unheard, or like your thoughts, your feelings don't matter in that situation, but it can make a difference, and it does matter, especially if it's affecting you and your mental health. I mean, speaking up in less serious situations, just like if you're a new parent, everybody has opinions on how you should parent. Or for me, like, I'm also planning a wedding. Everybody has their opinions on what the day should look like, what I'm supposed to wear. I'm supposed to wear heels, but I don't wear heels, so why would I do that on my wedding day? And just being able to speak up for yourself. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wear the heels on my wedding day. I don't want to trip and fall, and I want to be comfortable. And that's it. And it can leave people will push back and say, oh, but you should, it'll be better in the long run. It's like, nobody's telling my fiance he has to look a certain way on our wedding day, so why do you think you get to tell me that? And just not coming at it from a place of trying to fight, because I don't want to fight about it, but just speaking up to make your voice heard. So whether it's a serious situation like my past harassment situation, or something as serious as you need to wear heels and put makeup on your wedding day, and I don't want to, just being able to say, no, that's not what I want. Or just say, hey, this is what's happening, and something needs to be done about it. It's so important to speak up, and I'm here for you if that's a hard part of your journey, because I know how hard it is. I know how isolated you can feel when everybody is saying, like, oh, you should totally wear at least mascara on your wedding day. And I'm just sitting here saying, was happening. Nobody was doing anything. In the background, the owner of that restaurant where I work was talking to lawyers, planning out the removal of that particular person who was harassing people. And I didn't know any of that, and I talked to one of my coworkers after everything was over because she was also being harassed by that person. So we talked about it a little bit, and we were told not to tell anybody, and it was just hard. It's very isolating of you speak up to try to make a change, but then you can't speak up to heal. It's very difficult, but I think being out of the situation now, it just makes me realize how important it is to speak up, to say, no, that's not how I choose to live. This is what's happening, and I'm not going to tolerate it any longer. To, if you're a new parent or if you're just a parent, I can't really relate, but I know that everybody has their opinions on it, on all the things you should do. Like, I brought up to family once in casual conversation, like, oh, I want to homeschool our kids. My fiance and I have talked about it. I want to homeschool, and when we do have kids, eventually, like, that's what we want to do. And so everybody's like, no, you can't do that, this, that, and the other thing, but it's not up to you. I mean, we're not married yet, we don't have kids yet, so we have time to figure things out, but it's not your decision. And, just kindly saying, this is what I've decided, thanks for your input, or if you want to consider their input, okay, thanks, I'll consider it, but ultimately, the decision is yours. And when people push back of like, you have to do it this way, or whatever it may be, like, you can push back, like, this is my boundary, this is what I'm doing. You either support it or you don't, but either way, this is what I'm going to do. Or for more serious situations, I didn't realize how deep the harassment situation went until after I spoke up that, okay, in this situation, we're preventing more people from getting hurt, from being harassed, and that was a beautiful outcome. It was hard in the middle of it, but it was okay, and it's gonna be okay. It's okay for you to speak up. It's okay for you to set boundaries. And I know it's hard, but we'll get through it. And if you need to talk, I'm here.